Welcome. This is Christy, and welcome to the spirit animal reading for the week of the first quarter moon in February 2019. This will be for February 12th through the 18th. We're moving up now into the towards the full moon on the 19th, which will be in Virgo. Okay, so I've got here this bowl of selenite splinters. My dog, we had this chirping smoke alarm, and the dogs got all kind of upset with that, which is understandable. And my dog, I had left this beautiful big selenite massage wand on my bed. And she found it. She was all stressed out. She was looking for something to chew. And she chews it up. She thought it was a bone. The poor thing. So fortunately, she was not injured by it. But anyway, now I've got all these gorgeous little little baby selenite wands. If you were here, I would totally give you one. All right. So anyway, I put this here because one thing that I'm really feeling very strongly this week, and actually moving up through this whole new moon period, has been purification as a theme. I've really been feeling encouraged to do kind of cleansing, purifying, especially with the body. I've been personally eating a lot of raw food. This whole past week, I'm just finishing up a week of like totally raw food. It's amazing what that does for you. If you try that, expect you might feel crappy for the first few days. I did for a day or two, but now I feel pretty good. It feels like it's really cleaning things out, drinking a lot of water, lemon water. So I would really encourage you to consider this week anything that you can do to purge or purify. It could be the body, just eating really well, and you don't have to eat raw, but maybe eating a little bit more clean and pure than you usually do, drinking a lot of water. Purging in the home. I just went through and filed all my papers, cleaned out my purses, just cleaned house, smudged everything. And I know it just seems like a lot of people around me are talking about just getting rid of stuff, getting rid of possessions that you're not really using. All that stuff has energy. And it does drain our energy when it's around us, and it's not really, we're not really utilizing it in ways that are positive. So this would be a really good week for spring cleaning. And it would be timely as well, because we just passed Imbolc, which is the midpoint between the solstice and the spring equinox, the winter solstice, spring equinox. And we're moving into that kind of this more, a little bit more springtime, pre-spring. We're getting more light, and it is a really traditional time for purification and purging. So it's no wonder I'm just really feeling that. And you may be too. So if you're feeling, kind of like, oh, I just feel like cleaning or cleansing or whatever, just do it. All right. And then also moving into this full moon, this month is in Virgo. It is a supermoon, which means it's pretty darn close to the Earth. And this is the second of 3 supermoons in 2019. It is the one that is actually the closest to the Earth. So this will be a full moon. We always feel a full moon, but especially it's going to be a strong. And Virgo does have a lot to do with purification, with orderliness, with getting things in order. It's a very practical sign. And the feeling that I'm getting moving, into this period of time, I keep getting there's going to be a lot of kind of fire. I keep getting kind of fire energy coming up in the spring. Once we hit the solstice, March, April, even into May, even to the summer, it feels like there's just a lot of energetic action. It almost feels it could be a shakeup. So purifying, clearing, getting rid of anything that's draining you is a really good way to get ready. And it could be shakeup in and it really depends on where you're at and what's going on with you spiritually, or whether it's going to be a challenging shakeup or might be a really great shakeup. It feels like this is the year of the pig. I'm feeling abundance gates opening, and it could be just like maybe you're getting a lot of new business in, or maybe just new stuff coming in that will take energy. So shakeup doesn't necessarily have to be negative or overly challenging, but it does take energy, right? It's that fire energy doing things. So whatever we can do to clear and purify, if you're getting ready for a fire, if you're going to build a bonfire, you want to clear out the space around it and make sure that that bonfire is going to be burning in a space that is safe, right? Or is that where it can burn in a way that is beneficial, rather than catching everything on fire around it. All right, so moving into the reading, the card part of the reading, the spirit animals. This is my spirit animal awareness card deck. I will have the link below if you're interested in getting yourself a deck or giving it as a gift to someone. And we'll just kind of see. So asking for guidance for this coming week of February 12th through the 18th. I go by lunar weeks. And the reason I do that is that in nature, because I look to nature has a lot to teach us. And when we're in alignment with the natural world, then things are sustainable, right? This is how we're meant to live, in alignment with, in harmony with nature. And when we're in alignment with nature, things feel a lot more relaxed, usually, or even if they're not relaxed, they will come back to that state fairly quickly. And also it's something that it's an abundant sort of approach to life. And so anyway, the reason I go to the lunar weeks is that in nature, the sun really tracks the yearly cycles, and the moon tracks the monthly cycles. So looking at, the moon will really show us the weeks and the months. And going by a solar calendar is a very sort of, it's like an arbitrary contrived, it's really our mind trying to control, right? So I prefer to go by the lunar time, because that's really more what nature is, showing us. All right, so first one to come forward, beaver. All right, so beaver, got a couple themes here. One is taking action, but bit by bit. Okay, so coming back to this purging idea, this purification, this cleansing idea. I'm just going to take an analogy of cleaning the house, or an example of cleaning the house. It could be anything, like maybe you're wanting to clear out your body. Maybe you're wanting to, do spiritual cleansing. But when we think of it as a big task, it can be overwhelming, and then we don't get started, right? So what the beaver does is it cuts down a tree because it's hungry. It wants to chew, eat the bark. Eats the inner bark of the tree. It really likes poplar trees, by the way, which are very fast-growing trees. But then it'll take the twigs and it kind of a little bit cleans up after itself, right? So there's that cleansing. And it will use them to build the dam or its lodge, right? But it's like stick by stick by stick. So it's really, it's really about just taking that action and not thinking about it too much, like not trying to do this master plan. The master plan is already there, right? The beaver has, within its instinct, the master plan is already there. It's within the beaver. Your higher self has a master plan, that came, or it's tuned into the master plan of spirit, right? It's your higher self is able to really tune into the master designer, and you have within you your own blueprint or map of your own development, of your own, creating the the life that really suits you. your higher self is like this contractor, right? That will tell you what to do. And so part of it is just kind of like feeling into, well, what feels good. And remember that the beaver builds the dam and the lodge for its own benefit, right? So Spirit's asking you to do something. It is for your benefit, but it's also for the benefit of everybody. There's this interconnection. So when the beaver does its thing and builds something for itself, for its family, it's also benefiting everything around it, because it creates this environment that all sorts of other species benefit from. All right, so, but it's one stick at a time, one little thing at a time, and then it doesn't feel like a great big chore. All right, this fits with Virgo too, because Virgo is kind of like this practical, hardworking, just getting things done, cleaning them up. And all right, so whatever big thing you have in store, it starts with, build it stick by stick. This is a good week to just take care of those little things. Take care of those little things that are just sort of in the way or bugging you. Okay, this is so funny because... All right, so blank cards. I have 2 of these in the deck. And actually the word blank kind of dropped into my mind when I started, picked up the cards. So I guess I'm not surprised there's a blank in here. But, all right, so what I do with the blank decks, and you can take them out if you have your own deck and you don't feel comfortable doing this, then totally take them out of the deck and don't use them. Or you can, if there's an animal that's not in the deck and that you really feel connected with, by all means, draw it in or get a picture of it or something and tape it on there, because it's your deck. I have a friend who put Phoenix on there. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to tune in. I'm actually going to do an art reading. Usually I don't, but what the heck, it's a video. So I'm going to just kind of draw what comes in, but you don't have to. A lot of times I'll just kind of speak what it is. So just give me a sec. I'm going to tune in and ask Spirit what animal wants to show up, or what totem wants to show up for this week of February, this first quarter moon. What guidance to expand upon beaver? Clarify maybe what beaver wants to say. All right, so here is what I'm getting. It is not actually an animal. Well, this is kind of hard to see. Let me see if I can, there. I am shopping for a better camera and lighting so that in the future these will be easier for you to see. Okay, but this is milkweed. This is the totem that came in. I don't always get animals, and sometimes it'll be a plant, sometimes it'll be angels or whatever, but usually I like to work with the natural world. I have a good affinity for that. So milkweed. And that's a beautiful totem. If you're not familiar with it, milkweed, there's it's a whole group, family, genus, I'm not sure, family of plants maybe. We have quite a few species in North America. And I'm going to turn this around. And it's got, in the fall, or it's got these pretty, like, the common milkweed has kind of a lavender, dusky purple lavender flowers, and they have a nice scent, and they have sort of like this little spray of flowers. And then it forms this pod. And in the fall, just like dandelions, but they're bigger, it has these silky little umbrellas, and the seeds float out. The wind blows and blows these seeds to where they can, hopefully some of them will land on fertile ground and sprout into new milkweed. They are beautiful. actually the selenite that I was showing you earlier, these little seeds, the silk reminds me of selenite. It's white and very kind of shimmery, very much like the selenite crystal. Okay, so this is the little, what I'm feeling like with the beaver is all about little actions. What I'm feeling with the milkweed is saying is that these little actions, whatever little actions that you feel inspired to take, and especially around purification, or after some kind of act of cleansing, you may have to go through this cleansing, and then that may open up the inspiration to take an action. But these are little actions. This is not trying to create a humongous project. This is little actions, little things, and you may not even know why you're doing them. Or you might have a clue, but it might be just like, maybe if you're shopping for something, right? Maybe you're shopping for a new car. This would be like just mentioning to everybody, right? I'm looking for a new car. This is kind of what I'm looking for. Or maybe you're trying to promote, like, grow your business, and it would be, okay, well, maybe I'm inspired to place an ad here, or go to this networking event or whatever. And these are all seeds of potential that you're sowing as you take these actions. So, and it's carried by the wind, okay? So the wind has to do with, like, first of all, it's very light. So not feeling like there has to be an outcome from every single one of these, right? Not feeling attached to any particular outcome. Keeping it light, keeping it fun, keeping it, oh, let's just do this, right? But also, just being kind of consistently putting them out there, and allowing spirit to guide you, allowing your intuition to really say, maybe the action is, I'm going to drive down this street instead of my usual route. It could be as simple as that. Or I think I'm going to, maybe I was going to do my shopping a little bit later in the day before work, but I think I'm going to stop by the grocery store. I mean, maybe after work. I'm going to stop by before work this time, because you got that little impulse, right? Just paying attention to that, those little impulses, because that wind that represents the little voice of spirit blowing through, and it'll guide you, right? And not everything is necessarily, like, not every one of these seeds is going to grow into full-grown milkweed. Some of them fall on concrete. Some of them get washed into the lake. But some of them do fall on fertile ground. And the milkweed is putting out a lot of them, knowing that, when they put out, just make all these, like each one of these little action, right? Each one of those, it will eventually, some of them will land and sprout into something amazing, right? A new beginning, a new plant. So that's what that wants to say. So we've got, first of all, beaver. Now we've got milkweed. And for this final one, let's see what I'm going to clarify with one more. See what else this is for this week of February 12th through the 18th. Sea lion. Okay. All right, sea lion. Water element here, and again, and beaver, both beaver and sea lion, very water. All right, so again, we're getting that kind of cleansing, purification, going deep sometimes. This may be just an indication to, one thing that's really important, especially for physically cleansing or purifying, is sleep. Okay, so kind of when I said going deep, what really came in was allowing the sleep to happen, allowing yourself to sleep, because that clears out so much. First of all, just physically, it gives the body a chance to rest. And especially if you're doing any kind of cleanse, really important to allow yourself to sleep. Okay, so this might mean, maybe stay off the internet at night, because being on that electronic stuff can really, sea lions are really sensitive. It's environmentally sensitive, right? So I think this is really reiterating this whole purification idea. And what I'm getting really strong is, being very judicious with your time with electronics this week, especially moving up into the full moon. I feel like allowing yourself just take a break, unplug as much as you can, especially at night. Maybe not so much in the morning, like in the daytime if you have to work or whatever, don't worry about that too much. But at night, after dinner, try really to keep off the electronics. Try to unplug as much as possible. Do other things, spend some time with family, do some creative work that's not plugged in. Work with, I don't know, like if you want to, like if you have time-saving things, maybe cook some meals and freeze them so that you have time ahead, just some preparation work for something. I'm sort of just getting, though, that it's really important to sleep. It's really important to allow your body the chance to rest, to allow your spiritual self to tune in a dream, right? Tuning into the dreams. Let the dream world come forward, okay? Sea lion is one of those animals that dives down, and it can bring stuff up from the depths. So this, again, letting the dreams come up, that is a form of purging, if you want to look at it that way, because dreams will dredge up things that are happening inside that we may not be aware of. So pay attention to your dreams this week, especially moving up to the full moon, because full moon is a really good time to let go and purge and purify. So this will be a good week. If you pay attention to those dreams, things that come to you in meditation, they may show you things that you might want to, at the full moon time, have some kind of spiritual cleansing, have some kind of ritual, have something to let them go, do a smudging, do some kind of a letting go. But you have to be aware of what those are and allowing yourself the time to go into the dream world and allow that to come up so that you're aware of it. This is like a gateway coming up. This full moon is a real gateway. All right, so just to wrap up this whole reading, we're moving up towards a gateway, towards more action, where we're going to see things starting to manifest very quickly. And the more we can prepare right now, get ready, get rid of stuff that's going to weigh us down, take little actions that will help to facilitate things moving forward, and it just, clearing out stuff, that isn't needed. This is that time of preparation. All right. So I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, please do like, and if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. I have been doing just quarterly moon, by the moon readings, and if I would love your comments. If you have a download, if you had some kind of download or something to add to this reading, by all means, please add it to the comments, because that's valuable. So don't keep that to yourself. If you have a download, maybe you had another animal come to you while you were listening to this, or maybe it was an angelic message or something. Please do add to it, because we're a community. We are interdependent. Looking at look again at the beaver and the interdependence there. The milkweed and how important milkweed is. People are planting them because the butterflies depend on them. And the monarch butterflies, they fly and they migrate, and everybody I know that they see a monarch, and it's like this big uplifting experience to see a monarch, and they fly from Mexico to Canada and back, big migration. So when people plant milkweeds, it seems like a tiny little action, but it affects everybody, right? It has a huge impact. Maybe not like huge because you did, but like when everybody does that, it does have an impact. So never think that your actions are insignificant. They are not. Okay, every action is significant that you do. It affects everything, and that goes for your thoughts too. So purifying the thoughts, because when we think something, it triggers emotions in us, and those emotions send out vibrations. They send out energy that other people pick up on, and the emotions that we have help to shape the actions that we take. So every little thing does matter, and you matter, right? So um, if you've enjoyed this, again, do comment, do like, do subscribe. If you would like a personal reading, I'm going to leave the link there as well. And other than that, have a wonderful week, and we'll catch you next time.